911, what's your emergency?
August 2022, California. It was an ordinary summer night in San Francisco. The streets were quiet. The city lights flickered against the bay. And inside a modest home, a family settled into their evening routine. But as the clock moved deeper into the night, something began to stir. Something that would not stay hidden behind closed doors. A moment was coming that would ripple far beyond this house, far beyond this neighborhood, and into the digital world where silence is impossible and witnesses are countless. No one watching could have predicted how quickly an ordinary night would turn into something unforgettable. A story that would force investigators, journalists, and the public to confront the darkest collision between family, violence, and technology. Before the night in August 2022, before the live stream that shocked San Francisco, there was a young man shaped by discipline and war. Hernandez Flores had once worn the uniform of U.S. Marines. He trained, marched, and served with the pride of a soldier. But military life leaves marks. The battlefield teaches control, but it also plants scars that don't fade when the uniform comes off. After his discharge, Hernandez Flores returned to California. Civilian life was quieter, slower, and far less structured. For a man built on routine and command, the silence was heavy. Family tensions began to grow. His relationship with his father, Jose Hernandez, was strained. Arguments simmered over responsibility, choices, and the weight of expectations. His stepmother, Yesenia Soto, tried to bridge the divide, but the cracks only widened. Neighbors later recalled seeing Hernandez Flores as withdrawn, sometimes pacing outside, his voice sharp when pressed. The discipline of the Marine Corps had given him structure. Civilian life stripped it away. What remained was a man caught between pride and resentment, between the soldier he had been and the civilian he could not become. By the summer of 2022, those shadows had deepened. The stage was set for a confrontation that would not stay hidden, one that would spill into the digital world in a way no one could have imagined. The evening began like any other in the Hernandez household, but as night fell, the quiet routine was shattered. Hernandez Flores, 23 years old, forced his way into his father's home. Inside were his father, Jose Hernandez, 47, his stepmother, Yesenia Soto, 41, and his 11-year-old stepsister. What happened next was not only brutal, it was broadcast. Armed with a handgun, Hernandez Flores opened fire. His father and stepmother were killed instantly. His young stepsister, frozen in terror, saw everything. But the horror didn't end there. Hernandez Flores turned to Facebook, activating the live stream feature. Viewers who stumbled upon the broadcast saw fragments of the aftermath. Hernandez Flores, pacing, speaking, and showing no remorse. The internet became the silent witness, carrying the crime beyond the walls of the house and into homes across the world. For investigators, the live stream was more than shocking, it was evidence, a timeline of violence, captured in real time. The live stream ended abruptly, but the silence inside the Hernandez home did not last long. Neighbors, alarmed by the sound of gunfire, began calling police. Some had heard shouting through the walls. Others had seen the faint glow of a phone camera. Police units arrived within minutes. The quiet residential street was suddenly flooded with flashing lights, radios crackling, and officers moving quickly toward the house. Inside, they found devastation. Jose Hernandez and Yesenia Soto, fatally shot, their young daughter trembling in shock. The suspect, Hernandez Flores, was taken into custody at the scene. His demeanor was described as cold, detached, a soldier's discipline twisted into something darker. Investigators immediately secured the digital evidence. The Facebook live stream wasn't just a broadcast. It was a timeline of the crime. Metadata revealed the exact start time, the device used, and fragments of audio that captured the chaos. Forensic teams preserved every second of footage, knowing it would become the backbone of the case. The internet had not only witnessed the murders, it had archived them. From the moment officers entered the Hernandez home, they knew the case was unusual. The crime hadn't just left behind physical evidence, it had been broadcast. Frame by frame, analysts documented the escalation. His entry into the home, the confrontation, the gunfire, and the aftermath. Unlike eyewitness testimony, the live stream could not forget, misremember, or be intimidated. It was cold, unflinching, and damning. Prosecutors later described it as a witness that cannot lie. January 2026, San Francisco Superior Court, California. The trial of Irvin Hernandez Flores. The courtroom was tense, filled with journalists, family members, and a jury that would soon confront evidence unlike anything they had seen before. The prosecution's case was built around the Facebook live stream. On a large screen, the footage was played for the jury. The timestamp glowed in the corner. The shaky frame captured Hernandez Flores pacing, speaking, and showing no remorse. The cries of his 11-year-old stepsister echoed through the courtroom, a chilling reminder of the human cost. Prosecutors argued that this was not a crime of sudden passion. It was deliberate, staged, and broadcast. The live stream wasn't just evidence, it was intent. The defense struggled. They pointed to Hernandez Flores's military background, arguing mental instability and the lingering effects of service. They claimed the live stream was not meant to capture the killings but was a tragic accident. But the footage contradicted their claims. Every frame showed control, choice, and escalation. By the end of the proceedings, the live stream had become the trial's centerpiece. It was the unblinking witness that carried the weight of the case. After days of testimony, evidence, and the haunting replay of the Facebook live stream, the jury returned to the courtroom. The atmosphere was heavy. Family members sat in silence. Journalists leaned forward, and the defendant, Irvin Hernandez Flores, waited for the words that would define his future. The foreperson stood and delivered the decision. Guilty of 2 counts of second-degree murder, with firearm enhancements. The verdict was clear. The live stream had been the unblinking witness, the evidence that could not be denied. Jurors had seen the crime unfold exactly as it happened, and the defense's arguments of instability and accident collapsed under the weight of the footage. For the surviving child, justice had been served, though the trauma would remain. For the community, the case was a chilling reminder of how violence had crossed into the digital age. After the guilty verdict, the court reconvened for sentencing. The atmosphere was heavy, the silence punctuated only by the shuffle of papers and the distant hum of cameras outside. The judge delivered the sentence. Irvin Hernandez Flores would serve life in prison for 2 counts of second-degree murder, with firearm enhancements. Justice had been served, though no punishment could erase the trauma of that night. Beyond the courtroom, the case sparked a wider conversation. How could a murder be broadcast live? What responsibility did platforms have to detect and stop such streams? The San Francisco case became a chilling example of how technology had turned into both witness and archive. Documentarians, journalists, and legal experts began referring to it as the Livestream Murder Case. It wasn't just about one family's tragedy. It was about the collision of crime and technology, and society's struggle to keep pace. In San Francisco, the home where the crime unfolded stood quiet, its walls carrying memories too heavy to erase. For the surviving child, life would never return to normal. For neighbors, the street was no longer just suburban. It was marked by tragedy, but the impact reached further. Across the country, and even globally, the case became a chilling symbol of how violence had entered the digital age. Commentators called it the murder the internet witnessed. For audiences, it was a confrontation with the uncomfortable truth that the internet, once seen as a place of connection, could also become a stage for horror. The legacy of the Hernandez Flores case was not just about one family's destruction. It was about society's reckoning with a new frontier of crime, one where the witness is not a neighbor, not a passerby, but the entire world, watching through a screen.